That's an old one. That's an old one. That was one of the earliest songs. That's like from 2021 or something. W Flannel. Thank you. I always appreciate it. Flannel compliment. Good to fucking see you here on a Thursday night. Thought it was a Friday. I don't know what the fuck happened. Crack a liquid death with me if you've got one. Unsponsored. I'm going to smoke this joint for you. Thanks. Thank you. Just what I wanted. Yeah, I thought it was Friday. Still wearing the same shit. Yeah, it was from a few hours ago, so I'm not going to change. I already changed once, actually, today. Hello, governor. How the fuck are you doing, David I'm a little bit late to this third stream of the day, but I was, we got friends here. We have people staying with us. We had people staying with us all goddamn month. Not a lucky shot day for the 41 months. What's up, Zervik? What's up, zombies? What's up, Intovo? Hey, Big A, first time subscriber. Let me check that. Are you sure? You really are. Thank you. Appreciate that. Atrioc, I just got robbed. What do I do? Did you actually get robbed, or are you talking about subbing or something? Or you like bought merch or something? Is this a bit? Is this a bit where it's like something I did robbed you, or are you actually robbed? Wait, what are you? The streets are saying you're back into TFT. I mean, not really, but yeah, I do play. Couple of the friend group here plays, so. What does he thinks of subs? I love the content. Seen a ton of your YouTube originally. Now we're here. T-Zoc to you. Is this your first stream? No, it's not your first stream, but I appreciate your kind words about the YouTube. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Wish on 10 day for the 5 months. Are we watching T1 versus AL tonight? What's the schedule looking like? Huh, folks? Schedule LOL Esports. What are we looking at for T1? Midnight? No, I don't think so. The problem with League of Legends, bro, is that best of fives for League of Legends could literally be 5 hours. And it wouldn't even be that crazy. Like, you literally are signing up for a possible 5 hours. Which is like when the sun rises. You just can't do that. It's just not, it's not realistic, unfortunately. Occasionally, you mention that the Russian army tries to hide their jets. That's misinformation. Russian army's not that stupid. Those tires are used to damage. Occasionally, I mention the Russian army tries to hide their jets. I don't remember that, but yeah, sounds true. Sounds like you're right. Have you considered just being a YouTube guy? Well, how would I record the YouTube if I didn't have this lovely chat to steal jokes from? Think about that, Sniff Lord. Atrioc, you only stream when I'm busy. I have to leave soon. Is this on purpose? Yes. I pretty much wait until you can't watch. That's just part of it. When Atrioc says my name, I feel like one of those old-timey fangirls when one of the members of the Beatles winks at them. Don't say that. Let's not do a Ringo, John and Ringo type beat. On Lemonade Stand, you seemed like you thought China's rare earth decision was a really good play. Has your mind changed? I don't know if that's what I was trying to get across. What I was trying to get across is how monumental it was. If anything, I made a big A clip about it too, where I said, much like America's tech restriction, the second you start to make that squeeze, everybody else in the world is on high alert to get out from underneath your thumb there. So I wouldn't, it's a strong play in the trade war, but it's like you can't, once you play it, everyone has to find a way out. Speaking of Lemonade Stand, are you worried that Aiden's an actual furry? I'm not worried because people can be what they want to be. You know what I'm saying? X6217X. I feel like people can do whatever they want. And Aiden just happens to want 6 different high-end fursuits that he keeps at work. Okay? And he didn't even know it was a costume day. Just to be clear, Aiden showed up in that outfit not knowing we were supposed to have costumes. He just like, oh, that's just his casual, that's his Wednesday wear. Are you worried that he's going to start eating dog food? Okay. We're getting really into the Aiden is a furry direction on the questions. Everybody's asking me something. Let me ask you something. How is your week going? We're nearing the end of the week. How's the week? Okay? Up, down, left, right? Personally, not news-wise. How you doing? Good shit, bad shit? A lot of you job hunting, I assume? Finding job. Better since you're streaming, but being unemployed is tough. Listen, dude, I'm hearing this from a lot of people, so I know you're not alone. Even people, I was talking to someone today who has a job, and they said at their job, they've gotten more work and they laid off people. So there's like, it's like less people doing more work. So they're stressed and they're trying to find different job. They're trying to find somewhere else because they don't want to work there. But it's hard because there's no. I shouldn't even talk about it. Let's have a nicer day here, okay? Because I want to talk about the Chipotle stuff tomorrow. But I think today we'll watch the gambling video by Coffeezilla, which is probably not nicer, but probably pretty funny. Because unless you're a degenerate gambler, it's pretty easy to be like, "That's funny."
Gambling has.
We'll watch that video, and maybe there's a casually explained or something. What happened to Chipotle? They just had a really bad earnings report, and they openly said, what we've been saying. They didn't sugarcoat it. The CEO came out on the earnings call and was like, hey, there's 2 tiers of customers. And the bottom end of them, the people that are like 20 to 35, they used to love Chipotle, and now they can't afford it. I mean, that's legitimately what he said. So their growth is low, but I'll go more into it. We need more piggies for the slop. That's what he said. We need more piggies for the slop. And then he oinked loudly on the earnings call. It was crazy. I thought it was a little tacky. I thought it was a little crass, but then all the analysts on the call started oinking with him. And then everybody started buying Chipotle, and it worked. He got same-store sales up 5% in that call. Robert Stacks, unsolved with the 10 gifties. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. He's got a message from the TSA. Robert Stacks Unsolved works at the TSA and said, wanted to share caught your past VOD. Things at the airport are getting tough. Flew 10 times this month for work. TSA is stretched thin and traffic jams on the runway. Air traffic controllers running thin. I guess we should talk about that. Should we do a shutdown live update? I mean, what is happening? The Senate adjourned today and will not meet again until Monday. Wait a minute, confirmed. I thought they were still negotiating. The Senate has adjourned as of today, day 30, which means it will not meet again until Monday, which means it will be at the very least tied for the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Wow. Wow. Now, realistically, if they don't solve it immediately on Monday, we are now at the longest shutdown in American history. Insane. 13 times they've failed votes to end the shutdown. Jeez Louise. 5 more votes needed to advance the bill. I don't know. Okay. Let's
become very dark.
Mike Johnson saying things are about to become very dark. Jesus Christ.
Welcome back. The government shutdown has now stretched into day 30. The Senate is expected to leave town after votes today, but they are not currently scheduled to vote again on a House-passed measure to reopen the government. House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke this morning about the upcoming deadline of the expiration of SNAP food assistance benefits.
As I mentioned on Saturday, things are going to become very dire. There is one way out of this, the easy way, the obvious way, and that is for the Democrats to do their job and vote for the CR.
All right, I want to bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole.
Well, before they continue on, I mean, yeah, we've hashed this out on a couple different things. I did an episode of the Shutdown. I actually recommend watching the original clip if you want to know the back and forth over these expiring Affordable Care Act tax breaks that are like the big thing at the heart of this debate. But realistically, it's more about, for shutdowns in the past and for shutdowns now, it's really more about who thinks they're getting more blame. And I'll be honest, I don't know how it's playing out. It feels so weird. It feels like everyone is held steady on this game of chicken, which is why I don't know how it ends. We should just check if there's any polling. I mean, we could watch this analyst here for a second, but I want to check if there's any polling. Who is being blamed? 2 hours ago from the Washington Post. That's the one owned by Bezos, right? Americans blame Trump and GOP more than Democrats for shutdown poll finds. Independents hold Trump by 2-1 margin. Here, let's see. More than 4 in 10, 45%. Here's the thing, though. I mean, this could very well be true. I just have felt that Trump's polling is basically flat. He's got around 40% approval, 41. It's not good. It's not, it's about similar to where like Biden was in 21. It's not good, but it's flat. He's got his base. He can't go lower, but he can't go higher. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And so I don't know. Is that enough? Like, clearly people are mad, and possibly even they're more mad at Republicans here. But what's weird about it, and this is what I noticed. I did some research on this for Lemonade Stand a few days ago. It was like on day 22. What I noticed was the polling for Congress is so low. Like going into this and then also during this, that it can't go lower pretty much. Like, it's like they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. Congress as a whole, Republicans and Democrats. People hate Congress so much that it's like hard for them to, they have more to lose by giving in, I feel like. That's why this is lasting so long. I've been told by someone who's considered essential that their department estimates this will last until January. I don't, not that I'm doubting your source here, but I think I would not jump to any conclusions or have anyone that say with confidence when this is going to last. Lasting until January is a really, 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 really big gamble of a guess. Now, the main thing, if you don't know, is that the reason the shutdown ended so fast last time, and the reason it should end early next week, is because after around day 30, air traffic control starts breaking down. People at ATC who are not getting paid stop showing up for work, and then the planes can't go. Also, government employees who are furloughed, expecting to get back pay, can't afford their rent. 70% of Americans, something like 65 to 75 in that range, percent of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. And that includes plenty of people at government jobs. So the need to figure this out is going to be super fucking strong in about, 4 days. What does the government actually do? The shutdown's on zero effect on me. So what I would say is you usually don't feel it until after 30 days because all essential jobs still have to work. And all people not working are still going to get paid. They're still going to get back pay. So you can kind of just coast by for 30 days. Then you solve it. Everybody goes back to work. They get back pay. Everything goes on. But if you don't solve it, then you start to get a full month, like a rent payment that comes due and you haven't gotten paid. And that's when shit starts to spiral. I was surprised I could renew my passport during the shutdown. Yeah, I think it's just more backed up, but you can still do it. Although people that are like trying to pay student loans and call people on that are having troubles. I did see that Jensen's a Faker supporter. Is there anything more? I mean, we can watch this in this government shutdown. New signs of progress 14 hours ago?
At 5:02, new signs of progress toward ending the government shutdown. For the first time in 30 days, some senators say they are cautiously optimistic about resolving the standstill on Capitol Hill.
Our Jacqueline Quinn live there this morning with why some lawmakers say there could be light at the end of the tunnel. Jacqueline, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wisdom.
Okay, but just to be clear, this is this morning, and at the end of the day, they did not do it. So, unless she's like, they're planning over the next, by Monday.
And Simone, yeah, so this is going to be the 14th scheduled vote here. Now, Senate leaders are expressing some optimism that these talks have picked up. And that's important because this weekend there are some critical deadlines, including for SNAP, military pay, as well as federal medical enrollment plans. Now, the next vote is scheduled again for today.
Yeah,
it's
this did
been
not
about a month
pass.
since the shutdown began, and even cautious optimism for a deal could be a silver lining to tens of thousands of furloughed federal workers in the DMV, about 750,000 across the country
Jesus.
missed paychecks. They're also increasing food security for government workers and families. Now, as these deadlines loom for military pay, and we're faced with an upcoming freeze on SNAP food assistance, which helps 42 million Americans.
We talked about this in the podcast, but the number of people on SNAP is shocking. I thought it was 15 million. It's 42 million. That's, over a tenth of America. That's such a massive number of people that will not have SNAP food assistance. It's insane.
And buy food. Leaders are working potentially here to cut a deal.
Republicans are on a crusade to kill SNAP. They tried to do it in their big, beautiful bill. They don't like funding hungry children.
SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. You voted no 13 times.
Now, locally, the strain is mounting. Food banks are already seeing demand spike as families brace for cuts.
Jesus.
On Friday alone, just a couple days ago, we received 4,000 website visits to our Find Food page. We have never seen those numbers before.
Now, local leaders are making contingency plans. We know that Governor Wes Moore is going to be making an announcement today for SNAP relief. In addition, Virginia says it's going to be using some state funds to cover the shortfall all through November. And also today, federal workers will be gathering outside of the USDA headquarters to be collecting food for those who are struggling, those who are in need. And they're calling on the administration to release emergency SNAP funding. For now, I'll send it back to you guys.
A lot of people suffering.
Insane. And so definitely didn't solve today, going towards Monday. I can't imagine they get it solved day one on Monday. I assume they're working through the weekend. Trump just posted about this 10 minutes ago. Let's see. We got a Truth Social? I mean, it has to be the truth. Oh my God. He wrote a ChatGPT paragraph, dude. Wait, this is crazy. Okay, wait a minute. Whoa. We got a massive Truth Social here. I just got back from Asia, where I met the leaders of many countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and others. It was a great honor to meet them, but more particularly to see that America is respected again. Respected like never before! Great trade deals were made, long-term relationships now exist, and money is pouring into our country because of tariffs, and frankly, the landslide results of the 2024 presidential election. The one question that kept coming up, however, was how did the Democrats shut down the United States of America, and why did the powerful Republicans allow them to do that? The fact is, in flying back, I thought a great deal about that question, why? Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson are doing a great job, but the Democrats are crazed lunatics that have lost all sense of wisdom and reality. It is a sick form of the now, quote, legendary Trump derangement syndrome that only comes from losing too much. They want trillions of dollars to be taken from our healthcare system and given to others who are not deserving. People have come to our country illegally, many from prisons and mental institutions. This is not the case. This will hurt American citizens, and Republicans will not let it happen. It is now time for Republicans to play their, quote, Trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. Just a short while ago, the Democrats, while in power, fought for 3 years to do this, but were unable to pull it off because of Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kristen Sinema of Arizona. Never have the Democrats fought so hard to do something because they knew the tremendous strength that terminating the filibuster would give them. They want to substantially expand the United States Supreme Court, make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico states, thereby automatically picking up 4 Senate seats, many House seats, and at least 8 electoral votes, and many other highly destructive things. Well, now we are in power, and if we do what we should be doing, it would immediately end this ridiculous country-destroying shutdown. Okay. I just want to say, the logic of this is pretty stark. It's like, this is a horrible thing to do to seize power, but now we're in power, it'll benefit us. So we should do it. We are in a bit of a, I don't know, a race to the bottom here with this tit for tat gerrymandering, breaking of Senate. Yeah, I don't know. If they nuke the filibuster, that's either a huge W or it's time for no more elections. Yeah, it's interesting. It's just all of these things that are being changed, including some of these norms, would be something you'd be worried about being used against you if the pendulum ever swung the other way. So you either have to think you're super popular or that you don't want to have an election. If the Democrats ever get back to power, which would make easier for them if the Republicans are not using the great strength of policies available to the filibuster, the Democrats will exercise their right, and it will be done in the first day they take office, regardless of whether or not we do it. In addition to all the other things we would get, such as the best judges, the best U.S. attorneys, the best of everything, this was a concept from years ago of then President Barack Hussein Obama. He's pulling out the Hussein on former Majority Leader Harry Reid in order to take advantage of the Republicans. Now I want to do it in order to take advantage of the Democrats. I guess at least he's honest. At least he's honest. Bring out the tan suit while you're at it. Poor Biden already forgotten. Yeah, I feel like Sleepy Joe wasn't pulling numbers anymore. He's got to go back into the Hussein bag. It's the Truth Social. It's truth. Thank you for. Have you heard the theory this government shutdown is really a version of a coup, since Trump doesn't have checks and balances right now, but he's still making decisions running things? Well, it would be an interesting coup because it's like this was the choice to make a stand here by the Democrats. So I wouldn't say, I'm not saying he's not subverting norms here, but the coup would be yet to come. And also he's in power. Like he won the election. He won the election. They won the House. They won the Senate. They have the judiciary. There's no coup yet. It's, what's really happening is like just this game of chicken. I don't know how to say it. It's a game of chicken. Both sides are hoping the other side will be received more angrily by the public. Now, I guess what I'll say is, my general thought is this, is that because most people don't follow any of this shit, You probably can convince them one way or another based on what source they hear it from. But because most people aren't following day to day, I think they just get mad at the party in power when shit's chaotic. That's my honest assessment. It's like maybe at the beginning of it, they're like picking a side, but as it goes on, I think they just get mad at who's in power because it's like, that's my assumption. I think that's how most people think. I think the blame just sticks on. Seems to be the trend across the world. Hey, I mean, you know, particularly the Netherlands had an election today. The damn Dutch and their populist, you know, right-wing MAGA type party lost. But that was because they already had power and they didn't do a great job. It's flipped toward the centrist. So yeah, I mean, I think it holds with the theory. It's more of like people, yeah, if they don't see change, if they don't think it's getting better, will flip right back. Make Amsterdam great again. Geert Wilders once appeared at a Twinks for Trump rally in Ohio. I have to fact check this. You understand that. I can't just have a chat person come in and tell me that Geert Wilders appeared at a Twinks for Trump rally and take you as your word. I don't think this is true, brother. Wait a minute. No way. No way. This is real? I can't tell, dude. It's AI has ruined things. This is because this is a real photo. This is Geert Wilders at a Twinks for Trump rally. But is it real? How am I supposed to fucking know in 2020 fucking 5, bro? I mean, this post is from 23. We have to get to the bottom of this. We have to get to the bottom of this. This must be fake. I'm getting too in the weeds. I can't possibly believe this is real. This is 9 years ago. Wait, let's see. Holy fuck! Wait, it actually is real. This is 2016. Wait a minute. July 19th, 2016. No fucking way. Maybe it wasn't called Twinks for Trump. I don't know, but that's wild. And they didn't elect him? I guess they did elect him after that. He should have stuck with it. He lost the election yesterday, but it's probably because he didn't stick with it. What is a twink? If you looked it up in the dictionary, it's just a photo. It's just a photo. So I don't know. I don't know the definition of it. I looked it up and that's what I saw. Okay. Holy moly. Yeah, anyway, the shutdown is well and truly crazy. I had a couple people in the community who work as air traffic controllers who reached out. And they both said it's insane. They said specifically, first of all, there's people like trying to take Uber driving jobs as a second job while also working air traffic control. there's this huge backstop between people at the Air Traffic Control Academy who can't get started at the job because of the shutdown, and they just train for this and don't have an income. So it's crazy. I mean, I'm a little worried about flying during all this. We're now coming up on 30 plus days. Air traffic controllers are working insane hours. They're understaffed. It's wild. LAX is shut down a couple times now because they didn't have enough. Am I still flying to Japan? I am now, but Americans are generally worried about shuttered government agencies. 3/4 of U.S. adults say they are very concerned about the shutdown, including 62% of those who say they're conservative. Dude, this is like, it's funny because this is how concerned people were at the start of the shutdown, and this is how concerned they are now. And it's funny because that's like America, right? We've had so many shutdowns, or it's always threatened. It starts and stops really early. Nobody cares at the beginning because they don't think it's going to be real. But this is clearly tied with the realest one we've ever seen, likely going to be the longest one we've ever seen. Rich people still vibing? Rich people are still vibing. It's fucking story of America right now, bro. Story of America. Rich people are vibing. Can't rain on our parade. Talk about the snowflake executive. Talking about the Chinese product association. No, I didn't talk about that. Not Zuckerberg though. We talk about loopholes that created the idea of a government shutdown in the first place. It's kind of fucked. No, explain what you mean. I will say this. So, like, listen, the gridlock in America is not unique to America. There are a lot of countries in some form of gridlock right now between very differing parties that have vastly different opinions on budget and what to do. The unique thing about America is that we have this shutdown. You know, France, for example, cannot pass a budget. They can't have a prime minister last more than a fucking day lately. But in France, the way the law is written is if they can't pass a budget, it defaults to the last budget. And just everyone gets paid out and it keeps going. The government never stops working. So if you never figure it out, it just keeps going. America doesn't have that. If we can't do it, it literally, people stop getting paid. And do all these countries have massive debt? Yes, honestly. If you're asking, yes. It's probably the cause of the gridlock in some way. You think Americans stop working? Most work-addicted people I know. I mean, I'm talking about people at the government whose jobs were furloughed. So yes. Yes, dude, I do. I am talking about people that work. They're not... What major country does not have big debts? You know, Norway's not so bad. Germany's actually pretty good on debt. At least, you know, until recently. They're starting to spend a lot more. I like big debts and I cannot lie. Australia? What's Australia's debt to GDP? Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's insane how much higher it, like they were actually doing great until COVID. Dude, Australia was like at 8% debt to GDP till hella recently. I mean, this is a little higher, but Now it's at 43, which is low compared to the rest of these major countries, but they were in a great spot. I mean, this is the classic thing, you know, you keep it low in good times so you have it for the bad times. What does GDP mean? Gross domestic product. It's like a measure of all the goods and services produced by a country. It's like it's not the best measure, but it's like the easiest measure of the size of your economy. It's an easy way to compare. That's why they use it. The military during the Civil War was promising money they didn't have budget for, thinking that Congress would be morally forced to pay. So then they passed an act to prevent government agencies from doing that. Then in the 80s, an AG released an opinion any government agency spending any money at all was in violation of that act. That's when the first shutdown happened. Interesting. Very low debt GDP is bad because it always means you're heavily underinvesting. We've had that issue in Germany for a long time. I disagree with this so hard. I think this is horseshit, bro. There are many countries that had balanced budgets that invested heavily in infrastructure and theirself. Countries that say they can't do it without borrowing money are wasting money elsewhere. All the fucking money in Germany is going to something really stupid, like fucking farm subsidies. Well, it's going to something. It's going to something very stupid. They could have a balanced budget and invest in infrastructure, but they are wasting it on something stupid, and they're saying that only way we can do it is by fucking borrowing. You know, so I think this whole line of thought is specious. Sudan has a worse debt GDP than Japan. Yeah, you don't count Sudan. It's like me saying it's impossible to take out credit card debt when in reality I have Uber Eats Qdoba 7 times this month. Yeah, dude, it's like that fucking the tweet about the budget with the candles. What is? It's like this shit, dude. That's what it feels like. Do you know what I'm saying? The biggest infrastructure boom in American history, for example, is when we still had a balanced budget. Massive growth, massive GDP growth, balanced budget, bridges built, roads built, highways built, infrastructure built. It's not impossible to do. It's some middleman somewhere is sucking the fuck, not in a good way, sucking the soul out of out of the budget, bro. What's your favorite Al Green song? I don't know. What's this tweet? What?
On that.
Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong pulled up a prediction market at the end of their earnings call today, and he rattled off all the words people were betting he would say. Legend.
I was a little distracted because I was tracking the prediction market about what Coinbase will say on their next earnings call, and I just want to, add here the words Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, staking, and Web3 to make sure we get those in before the end of the call.
Fucking clown.
All right, well,
world,
we've taken
bro.
all of our questions. That's it for today.
Clown world. I mean, yeah, dude, somebody just fucking jumped out of a fucking window because they bet the under. Someone just bet 40K that he wouldn't say Web 3, and now they're fucking screwed. Hopefully he didn't make a bet of his own. Or a friend of his knew that he was going to do that and made a bet. You know, the problem with prediction markets, not that some of them aren't quite interesting, and I do really like, you know, wisdom of the crowd with markets to get a better idea of where people will vote. It just creates so many incentives for cheating and double dealing and insider trading. It's like an absurd amount. I was just about to transition to the Coffeezilla video, but then fucking Crane decided he wants to do my fucking job for me. Shut up! God damn! He read the script. Anyway, what is this? I never watched a second of Lemonade Stand today. My friend told me to look at the first 5 seconds of the latest ep. This is why people are afraid of the woke. That's so funny. That's so funny. Fucking true, dude. All right. Anyway, let's check out this Coffeezilla video. Let's see what Coffeezilla is talking about with regards to gambling. We all love it. I assume Coffeezilla's videos didn't be like how great it is, right? Because one thing we're sure of on this stream is that gambling has been a key, important part of all of our lifestyles. It makes our lives better. And so this is a 34-minute video by Coffeezilla where I assume he talks about the parts of gambling that are great that we didn't even know about. Like how it can like earn you lots of money easily, or how it can like find you friends, or that it's like a really relaxing thing to do after a stressful day. Like I assume that's what it's about, but we'll watch it and make sure. Pre-watched.
Gambling has
Oh my God, what an opener.
changed. It used to be you'd lose your money on slots in Vegas, but today, not only can you do that, you can also bet on your favorite sports team, on the opening coin toss, on this individual pitch, or on all three in a parlay. You can do it from your phone, your tablet, your Apple Watch. You don't just have to gamble on sports, you can gamble on esports, on video game items, on slots with those items. You can do it in Roblox, or on regular stocks, on meme stocks, gamble with calls, gamble on earning calls, gamble on calls with earning calls. You can gamble on political events, world events. You can bet if Zelensky's gonna wear a suit before July, if Jerome Powell's gonna say inflation 50 or 60 times in September. And you don't just have to gamble on that. You can gamble on crypto coins, Trump coin, Dogecoin, Fartcoin.
It's definitely 60. So I'll make that bet right now. It's definitely 60.
You can gamble on the champion of Fartcoin coin, and you can gamble on any of the posts the champion of Fartcoin has ever made on whether they will become popular or not. And if none of that's your cup of tea, you can also just gamble directly within your banking app on a game of roulette, like a gentleman. And don't even get me started on the ads. If you turn on...
Wait, is that the app? There was an app recently where you can gamble on your bills. Like you literally, you put in the amount of your bill and you can spin the wheel for it to pay. Is that Yada? And you spin the fucking wheel and then it pays your bill off or you owe double. It's like gambling, but they're tricking you into making a bigger bet. That's all it is. It's just tricking you into make a bigger bet, but they make it out like you can have your bill completely paid for. Wait, that's clever? Don't give them that. Don't give them that. That's like the devil finding out a new way to torture you with bees, and you're like, listen, it stings like shit, but I got to admit, you're a clever son of a bitch. You gotta respect it. I don't think that's. You gotta hand it to him with the bees. Credit where credit's due. I'm allergic and it stings like shit.
Sports, esports, podcasts. Not even my favorite political show is safe.
Shout out to Prize Picks, the best app to fire on sports in the game.
You will be bombarded with gambling ads by every famous person you've ever heard of.
DraftKings.
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 DraftKings Sportsbook.
DraftKings Sportsbook.
Uh-oh. How did we get here? And is it a good thing that we're turning every spare moment of our lives into a game of chance?
I mean, yes, right? That we don't have to watch the rest of it. If, it's if we know the answer is yes, then why? You know, it's like one of those long video essays where they take a while to get to the point. It's like it is a good. It's kind of hype.
I'm betting no.
A twist. New intro for Coffeezilla? Interesting. Cinema?
There are 3 things responsible for gambling becoming more mainstream, but the first and biggest trend is simply the mainstream becoming more like gambling. See, Silicon Valley learned a decade ago that gambling mechanics are incredibly good for user retention, so they put them everywhere. Let's say you're shopping online. Well, now you can spin a wheel to unlock prizes. Or if you're playing video games, you can open a loot box, get some...
Dude, it is funny that like the core of it is that our stupid monkey brains are just so weak. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is, bro. Our dumb monkey brain wants chance at 2 banana over 1. It's just like we don't do statistics well. We don't plan well. The pain of a small loss doesn't hurt as much as it compounded over 10 does not hurt as much as the chance of gaining 10x our money.
Randomized items. You can even use those items as virtual currency in a casino we've made a 3-part series about. Or maybe you don't have a problem with loot boxes for adults, but we've also put them in kids' video games because, you know, got to start them young.
Yeah.
Roblox is the largest game for minors, and they are stuffed with randomized loot boxes. But even if that's fine for you, what about the third-party websites which, against TOS, allow full gambling based on a kid's game? And yes, there are actual kids gambling on these apps.
Right, I just won a bit of profit there. I had 200 Robux. No, I had 200 Robux in profit, 100 Robux in profit, but I lost them. But I had 50 Robux and I lost it, and I thought I got 50 Robux again.
Dude, this is sad because not only is this kid gambling, but he's also been trained at a young age to do the single most boring thing a boy can do, which is talk about gambling boy math to other guys. Every guy has been stuck at a party with another guy talking about the fucking, how he got rivered in poker or how, oh, dude, you don't understand. I had 2 kings and there was a king on the flop, but then on the river, he got an ace and it was like, what the, and you have to nod and, or this is the classic fucking thing, dude. And this kid's already doing it from a young age. He should be talking about something he built in Minecraft.
So on this mines, on Roblox World, what I'm gonna do is buy 40 crates now. No, not 40 crates, but like 44 crates.
Wait, are you buying me a burger? Thanks, babe. We're watching children gamble.
Oh no, that's not really anything.
It's sad, but they're British children.
Okay.
That looks good. Let's go.
Wow, what a bird.
Let's go. Win profit.
Let's go. Win profit.
Go.
It is absolutely
I'm chuffed
disgusting
to see that.
And look, I spoke to an insider who worked on this website, Roblox Wild, before it got shut down. He shared data which claimed they made $5,000 a day, or roughly $2 million a year. Thankfully, this website got shut down, but third-party gambling sites still persist because copying casinos makes a ton of money. And that's why we've been putting it into everything, including our politics. Prediction markets are the answer to the question of what if we could YOLO on election results and world events. The biggest websites are Polymarket and Kalshi, which have exploded in popularity during the American election cycle. But it isn't just major events that attract bettors. I was recently asked to investigate whether this was a suit that Zelensky was wearing. Why?
I don't know if he's going to talk about this. So it's a pretty recent story that I saw, so I'm going to try and interact with it. If it's pre-watched, I'm sorry. The data on Kalshi and Polymarket is actually pretty crazy because those entire websites have just turned into sports gambling websites. The vast majority of bets on those websites is sports again. Like I think Polymarket and I think betting on politics and all that, but that stuff actually is much smaller than everyone just making sports contracts. He talks about that? Okay, it's crazy.
Well, the prediction market had bet $200 million in betting volume on this bet, and some of them were really mad that they decided, no, this is not a suit, I guess. Whether you think it is or not, the volume of betting here is insane. And one reason for that is because these companies are exploiting loopholes that allow betting even in states where normal gambling is illegal. Because these companies say they're not a casino, so they don't fall under the same rules, which is why instead of having to be 21, you can now gamble at 18 on prediction markets. And while there have been legal challenges to this, both of the major companies, Kalshi and Polymarket, have recently brought on the president's son as an advisor, making it hard to see how they're gonna be meaningfully regulated. Meanwhile, all the major betting apps are busy launching their own prediction market copycats to get around the same weak rules.
Wait, look though. Look, bro. Look at Kalshi. Red is sports. Blue is elections politics. They had a little spike around the election. It's all sports now. It's fucking all sports. And then I guess Polymarket's still pretty split, but it's still bigger than, basically everything else. That's crazy.
That we still have regarding betting. And don't even get me started on the other loopholes that are out there. Have you ever heard of the TikTok of sports wagering?
This is Cheddar. We're building the TikTok of sports wagering. Legal in 20 more states than DraftKings. Accessible for 18 to 21-year-olds. Live, in-game, micro betting. Swipe to predict every moment of every play.
I'm going to stop you right there. If you missed it, Cheddar is a new startup trying to combine DraftKings, TikTok, and Tinder features into one app. And one of the things they brag about is they're allowing 18 to 21-year-olds as a competitive edge.
This is the most brain rot shit I've ever seen. And the ad sounds so comical, it's fake. Like if that ad was in an episode of Community, it would be right at home. It sounds like something we would make as a joke. That's crazy.
Guys, can you believe the untapped market of teenagers for gambling? Now, to be fair, Cheddar has not launched yet, but this is obviously the future we're heading towards, turning everything into a maximally addictive gambling product.
It's sports wagering with the pace of a slot machine.
Yeah. Isn't that the most dystopian thing you've ever heard? We're trying to turn sports betting into slot machines. I mean, the funny thing is this whole product is built around yet another loophole called a sweepstakes casino, and that's how they get around the 21-year-old age requirement. Here's how it basically works. Sweepstakes casinos claim that you don't actually need to purchase anything to play, so it's kind of not gambling. In fact, you can get free coins to access their games, but they also have a second currency which you can buy. Well, not buy, you get it for free when you buy the worthless coins. For example, their website says if you buy 100 Cheddar coins, you get 5 bonus Cheddar cash. And that's usually what you can gamble with and redeem for real money.
Stupid.
This is actually how...
So stupid. It is so stupid, dude. This should be like a 1-day revoked by the judiciary. It's like a single human with an ounce of intelligence and the knowledge of the law should be able to go, no, that's obviously against the spirit of the law, and you're banned. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So many tech platforms are just, let's do a thing that's illegal, but rename it. Just call it something else. What if we made taxis without labor laws? It's Uber. Now it's $1 billion startup. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, bro.
How Stake US works. If you didn't know, Stake International is one of the world's largest casinos, but they aren't allowed here in the United States. So they have an American arm, which is a sweepstakes casino, which has gold coins and stake cash. One Redditor explains how the loophole really works. Quote, 1 stake cash is 1 USD. They only use gold coins because they need to say that you aren't gambling with real money to stay open in the US. Except, of course, you are actually gambling with real money. They just have a virtual currency workaround, which basically everyone has figured out. Some casinos are just kind of more honest about it than others. Cheddar's basically saying the quiet part out loud. They're going after 18 to 21-year-olds with TikTok, Tinder, sports betting at the pace of slots. And by the way, people are betting on their success. They're actually in a cohort of startups invested in by a Silicon Valley investment firm called A16Z. But if you think that's a bad idea, now let's talk about banks and gambling. I recently made a video on Yada, which was a fintech, which is a complicated story. We've done a ton of work on here and here. But basically, the original pitch was a no-lose lottery, which gamified savings. Lots of YouTubers worked with them, and they acted like a bank, at least at first, until they switched their new business model to be about allowing you to gamble inside the app and lose money, essentially becoming a casino within what is essentially a bank account. Now, I should actually note that Yada recently shut down the banking side and have fully focused on the sweepstakes casino part. I guess it's a more profitable business, but it's a sign of the times that everyone is moving their app more towards gambling, and finance is going the same way. On August 19, 2025, the investing app Robinhood announced they are bringing sports betting prediction markets to their app. In the announcement, the vice president of Robinhood claimed sports betting was a, quote, no-brainer, as we aim to make Robinhood a one-stop shop for all your investing and trading.
It's not investing or trading. It's just gambling. It's just gambling. Ugh. Bro, it's crazy. You're not I'm not investing in the fucking Lakers. When I put down the Austin Reeves money line, dude.
Needs, AKA, we noticed people were leaving to other apps. We don't like that. We'd like you to never leave our app. And ironically, the very next day, FanDuel, a sports betting app, announced they were bringing stock market betting to their customers.
But I will ask you about what some call the gamification of markets. Why this move? Why FanDuel? Why now?
For us to have a partner like FanDuel and be able to have 14 million accounts on day one.
FanDuel is adding stock trading? Or you're not even, do you even own a share, or are you just betting on a stock going up, literally? Are you not even legally getting a share? Are you just betting on yes or no it goes up? Dude, that's so ridiculous.
I'm not becoming a casino, contrary to popular opinion. I didn't buy a casino. These are markets that will be offered to the general public, and we think is massively exciting of what it could do.
And you couldn't have a more perfect image of
How do you say that with a straight face, bro? Massively excited. You just say what you mean, bro. You want to make money off it. The idea that you think this is somehow like a really exciting, good thing for the world is crazy. It's obviously not. The only thing is that people on net will lose money making stupid bets, and you're going to profit. It's
how finance is embracing the casinos and vice versa. Actually, correction, you can have a more perfect image, because after I wrote this, the New York Stock Exchange's owner invested $2 billion into Polymarket. So actually, this is the perfect image of where we are. And a result is a lot of young people now see the stock market as kind of more like a betting market. The most popular group on Reddit is personal finance with about 21 million followers. In second place, Wall Street Bets, where gambling on the stock market is embraced and celebrated. It grew the most during the meme stock craze of 2020, which shifted how some people thought about investing. Instead of being driven by earnings, prices, or fundamentals, people gambled on memes, attention, and vibes. People are chasing bigger returns and taking on bigger risks to do so. One measure of this is the amount of debt people are taking out to invest. Margin debt is at an all-time high of $1 trillion, which even on an inflation-adjusted basis is near all-time highs and up 5x over the last few decades. Not only that, the rapid growth of zero-day options by retail traders is also a telltale sign. It's grown 5x in volume over 5 years, showing that people are trying to gamble more. Zero-day options are the stock trader equivalent of red or black at the casino. Fast action, massive wins or losses on a single day. But if the stock market is America's casino, then meme coins are basically the back alley bookie who will break your legs. Bigger price swings, faster action. Meme coins are even more degenerate than meme stocks and pump and dump usually within...
You guys are... I'm not you guys. Maybe not you. People watch me, probably not so much, but the people involved in this, and it is some of you, are so brain rotted that even a 0-day option bet on a swingy meme stock is not enough. You have to go to fucking cum coin. 3x levered cum coin. It's insane. And I know this is not even what I really believe. I know it's not brain rot. I know it's like a response. I mean, some of it is brain rot. I actually need to be more clear. But it's a response to an increasingly financialized economy, an increasing feeling that you're falling behind, so you have to make a bigger swing. But it's crazy because this doesn't work. It doesn't even work. You'll hear some stories of for the few, but there's no skill to it. You know, it's like one person walked away from the carnival game with a big stuffed animal, but it doesn't mean you should throw away your whole paycheck throwing rings.
A single day. Among the people who trade these, Pump.fun is the leading destination as the one-click launchpad. Anyone can make a meme coin in seconds, and there is no value in it other than the expectation that someone might be more foolish than you and buy at a higher price than you did. And of course, Pump.fun is happy to take a cut and make most of the money. Most traders will lose, but now you can also get a cut if you're a content creator who pushes one of these coins. We've seen the same thing from launchpads like Meteora.
Guys, like I've always said, Pump.fun is an exciting website with a lot of financial opportunity. I wouldn't cast any aspersions at it so quickly. You know what I'm saying? I really think you guys should take a second look, you know, really understand. It's like a fun game. It's like a really fun game. No, in all seriousness, I mean, I already made a video on this, right? I did the Max Stupid video. I think Pump.fun is a true hellscape. I don't remember what I called it, like the blinking, gaping maw where a soul should be at the heart of society or something. I don't know what I called it something harsh, bro. Like you scroll Pump.fun too long and you just realize you just get sad. It's a sad fucking website.
They allow creators to have a split of some of the trading fees, and it kind of democratizes the grift. Now, anyone can farm their followers and fans for money. You don't have to be particularly sophisticated, and that's actually how Trump made millions of dollars in fees with Trump meme coin without ever selling. He just farmed the fees. And to be clear, this money doesn't magically appear. It's being siphoned away from regular people who mostly lose. It creates a sad ecosystem where most creators are racing to the bottom for attention to get their audiences to pump their worthless coins, leading to a predictable spiral where most are scamming, rage baiting, or otherwise trying to shock each other into becoming the biggest grift of the day.
Jesus Christ.
Cups got drained.
Thanks for the 20 bandos.
It's ripping.
I mean, that guy was the GOAT. Just to be clear. As time has passed, my opinion on Thanks for the 20 Bandos kid has shifted. Instead of seeing him as a villain, I now see him as some sort of Robin Hood hero. You know, a voice against the insanity of the world that he's been birthed into. A man who took power back. He's a child of the times, an honest symbol. He's a Joan of Arc. 20 Bandos kid is a sign of hope, really, that you can win. You can fight back. Jesus Christ.
If you've ever heard of a zero-sum game where someone has to win for the other one to lose, meme coins are negative sum because of all the trading fees. Most people, by definition, will lose. The real winner, of course, is Pump.fun and people pushing it. According to one analysis, they've generated revenues of over $800 million for themselves, while almost none of the traders have made significant profits. According to one analysis, 0.4% of all traders will ever make over $10,000. So almost no one.
So you're saying there's a chance.
The reason we're going through all of this is to explain the many ways that gambling is no longer just about slots, cards, brick and mortar casinos. We've injected it into every conceivable aspect of our lives, and that has two effects. One, it's inescapable. You cannot avoid gambling by...
I wouldn't say every aspect. In my yet-to-be-written short story, The Golden Paycheck, I foresaw a future where people are paid in a spun wheel that gives them either a gray paycheck or possibly a silver, gold, or purple paycheck where you get more money for that day's work. And I really feel like we're headed there. I feel like we're headed there. I'd love that, TBH. Dear God. But you have to understand, the gray paycheck is slightly less than you would normally earn. So let's say if you made minimum wage, the gray paycheck for that day would be sub minimum wage, but the silver gold would be above. Okay? So would you take your normal paycheck or would you spin it for a chance? I think most people, because of how brains work, they would spin it for the chance. And you talk with your coworkers and you'd be like, dude, I got a gold today. I'm going to have a great weekend. It's so depressing to think about, but it would fucking work, dude. It would fucking work. What are the odds? After a year of doing it, it averages out to sub minimum wage, dude. After a year of work, the average would be slightly less than you would normally get paid, bro. It'd be better for the company, of course. But what if? I'm literally telling you it wouldn't work, and you're like, but I'd be different. This is why it works, bro. But I think I'd hit a purple, dude. I'd hit a purple and I'd fucking quit. Imagine the vibes if one of your boys hit a silver before a Friday night out. That's what I'm saying. It'd be a fire short story. It'd be a Black Mirror episode, dude. I think it'd be such a fire, because this is how people would actually respond. They would just adapt to a world where the gambling has come for their literal paycheck. They would adapt. They would feel happy at certain points and sad at certain points, and it'd be crazy.
Avoiding Vegas anymore. It's literally everywhere. And then two, it's also harder to understand and study because most researchers are studying like casinos, sports betting, but so much of gambling is not that anymore. So as we get to the numbers of this stuff, remember, everything's going to be an undercount. But it is still important to talk about those casinos, and that's where we're going to shift now. Starting with the biggest trend that has happened for these casinos, and number 2 on our reason, which is sports gambling becoming legalized. Rewind the clocks for a second back to 2018 when the Supreme Court overturned a federal ban. At the time, basically, you could only sports bet in Nevada. But after this, you can see in a few years, we've completely flipped on the issue. Most states now allow sports betting. And along with that, the advertising budgets for these companies is absolutely enormous. DraftKings, FanDuel, Underdog, Prize Picks. They've spent hundreds of millions of dollars getting celebrities and influencers to push their product every year. And man, has it worked. As I'm writing this, the number 1 sports app on the App Store is not sports. It's not ESPN. ESPN and the NFL are second and third. The number 1 sports app is actually DraftKings. And in the top 10, half of those apps are sports betting, which is insane. There are 2 reasons for this. Obviously, one, hundreds of millions in advertising, but the second is what are called inducements, which is when these apps will incentivize players to download them and place a bet, sometimes literally offering what seems like free money.
I want to flashback here for a second and see what I said in 2023. You can't gamble on meme stocks. What's going to happen in 2023? If all these things go to zero, they're going to gamble on actual gambling. The year of sports betting. People are going to get into sports betting in a major way, and in fact, already are. Almost every state has now legalized it. This happened within like a few years. In New York, which legalized gambling, they're setting all-time So records. young. $16.2 billion already being gambled in Empire State and New York alone. And the sports leagues, NFL, NBA, etc., have finally figured out how to be involved, how to profit off it, how to utilize it in a way that benefits them, and so they're on board as well. Hopefully, people that do choose to bet won't make bets like this one. The Chargers choked massively last night, and this guy bet $1.4 million when they were up 27-0 to win $11,000. And then Jacksonville came back and won 31-30. So he lost $1.4 million. The risk was so high to win so little. And they're talking about one big thing, which is going to be micro betting. What they want to do is basically have you have your phone out during the games at all time and micro bet on basically everything. Because they've realized that's where the real money is. Getting the average micro bets. person to bet a little bit a lot of times. The past couple years, we saw a ton of like crypto casinos and all that on Twitch. You're gonna see a lot of people gambling on sports. This is where the new sponsor money is coming from. Get it twisted. But listen, I was worried when I was making these predictions that I was coming off as too much of a downer. I wanted to include some good stuff because I do think there's. Oh, then I just go into gaming.
It's got an NFL offer.
Don't play with me. We just turned $5 into $150 in bonus bets.
Nice.
New customers bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
New customers get risk-free bets up to $2,000.
Now look, the reason casinos do this is kind of obvious. If they can make you place one bet, you're more likely to place the second, third, and 100th. But even setting aside the fine print of these weird offers, does it not strike anyone else as weird that we're allowing gambling companies to give away free stuff? Imagine the cigarette industry told you, buy your first pack, get 50 free packs free to get you started. Imagine Budweiser.
That's a great deal. 50 free packs? That's an unreal deal, bro. I mean, how are you going to not take that deal? 5 cartons?
Said shotgun one, they'll send you a case for fun. It's insane. And yet, that's exactly what these sports betting apps are doing. It's the lifeblood of how they get new players. And once you're in, these apps will also cater to their biggest players, biggest losers, called VIPs. They will send them gifts as they spend their life savings. And there have been multiple lawsuits actually about this. And to make it worse, if you do the opposite and you actually win too much on these apps, they will try to limit your betting, as one investigation found.
If you show any real ability to effectively handicap a game and beat the sportsbook, they will limit your bets and essentially kick you out of the sportsbook. They will not let you win.
Can you talk to me a little bit about how sportsbooks treat you once you start winning?
They don't want to accept your bets.
Yeah, it turns out the casinos actually hate the exact player that's featured in all of their advertisements. The guy who actually wins too much money, which is actually so crooked when you think about it, that if you're one of the few people who achieves what they're promoting, they actually don't want you. Now, as I was writing this story, another massive scandal actually broke in the sports betting world, which is even more corrupt.
I mean, we all know this, but I don't understand how it doesn't internalize with people that if they're spending $30 million to get Kevin Hart in a Super Bowl ad to tell you how great it is, they're making that money somewhere. If they're giving you the deal, if they're giving you the free spins, they're giving you the free. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, it's not for the charity. Do you understand? Like they are obviously profiting on this. They do it because they know they're going to beat you. Kevin Hart would never lie to me. I mean, Kevin Hart was a bad example because he obviously truly loves gambling and really wants you to have a chance at winning. But maybe, someone else.
Than not allowing winners.
But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years.
That's right, the FBI just exposed a massive sports rigging scheme that was using these apps to win money on rigged basketball games. One example of this was March 23rd, 2023, when an NBA player, Terry Rozier, told a friend ahead of time that he was going to go out early on a foot injury. And so that night, $200,000 in bets were placed on his underperformance because no one else knew that he was injured. And a few minutes after Terry kind of limping around, he left the game and the bets paid off. A few days later, Terry Rozier and his friend allegedly counted the money at his house from the fraudulent wagering scheme. And this was one of several rigged games the FBI...
Guy can't hurt his foot nowadays? NBA's a tough game. Guy can't go out there hurt his foot? Now all of a sudden it's a fucking crime to have a little foot pain? What's the problem here? Okay? What happened to this country? There's a good one. I saw this clip recently on like our NBA. I forget the player. It's like a Warriors player, right? And the Warriors are up by like 13 points. But the spread on the bet is 12. So like everyone else on the bench for the Warriors is like smiling, laughing, barely watching because it's over. There's only like 5 seconds left. But this one player, I forget the name. He's like watching like this. He's like, fuck, please. He's like watching the score. He's like begging for them to keep the score covered. And then at the last second, the other team scores a random bucket. Like, it doesn't mean anything because they still lose. But this guy, like, yeah, it was Gary Payton. It was Gary Payton. He goes like this. He like breaks down. That shit was it's so obvious on the footage. Like, he clearly cares way too much for a guaranteed win. I wonder if I can find the clip.
There's been a lot of...
Yeah, this is it. Gary Payton. Sorry. Yeah. Well, you gotta watch this. How come I can't find it? Does anyone have the clip? It was pretty big on Reddit relatively recently. Oh, is this it? Yeah, here it is.
Another NBA player betting on games. This time,
yeah, but this is like somebody talking over it with a fucking, not like us. I just want the clip. I just saw the clip. I don't want the guy giving me their commentary, bro. Maybe this is it.
time Warriors Gary Payton Jr. Check this shit out. So the Warriors are up by 12 right now. The spread of this game, you guessed it, minus 11.5. So they're going to the free throw line for 2. But check out Gary Payton on the bench, sweating this one out. You can tell this man has Warriors minus 11.5. So they have 2 free throws to move this game to 14. But if you slow it down, you can literally see Gary Payton saying it. They might have to shoot again. Oh my God. Why would that concern you, Gary? Of course they're going to go down and shoot. They're losing. So here are the free throws. They make the first one. This moves to 13. But at this point, any bucket, the Wizards still cover. So we need one more free throw here. You can see Gary Payton sweating it out on the bench. If we're going to get Malik Beasley, let's get Gary Payton too. Makes the second free throw. Warriors go up by 14. As long as it's not a 3, the Warriors cover. No threes. What do you know? At the buzzer, the Wizards hit a 3 and they cover the 11.5. Now check out Gary Payton's reaction.
Like, his team won, but he's melting down, bro. It's like... it's fucked up, dude. The incentives are so bad.
Alleged, but the media was quick to point out this isn't even the first time someone was caught doing something like this.
Jonte Porter, who played for the Toronto Raptors, has already pled guilty. He's already pled guilty. He's awaiting sentencing for doing just what Rozier and Jones are accused of. So this train has already left the station, Laura. And I have to tell you, when Jeff Teague, an NBA player, says, oh, there's betting everywhere, it is everywhere. I've done ads for DraftKings. LeBron James has done ads for DraftKings. In fact, ESPN, when they were reporting this story this morning, they're having programming, people talking just like you and me, talking about this scandal on the press conference the FBI was giving. And underneath them on the ticker was an ad for ESPN Bet.
They cut it,
which is
though.
ESPN's own.
It's funny because halfway through the segment, they scrub it out. It's like embarrassing.
Sportsbook.
Yeah, the irony of all of this is that the same people who condemn illegal betting going on are simultaneously pushing the sports books, which create the opportunity. And at some point, the producers on ESPN actually noticed it. And see if you can spot the moment they try to fix the sportsbook ad in the corner.
You hear a lot about legal sports gambling on this show. The Bussin' Boys, obviously sports gambling is a huge part of what you do, so we put those all out there as a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place. However, there is a fine line, not so fine, there is a bold line that obviously has to be drawn.
Well, that's a little awkward. You're actually supposed to remove the ad for sports betting before talking about sports rigging. And honestly, we've only hit the...
Listen, guys, let's get fucking serious for a second, though. I'm sorry. Like, can we just get fucking serious? Like, this platform has become all about the fucking money. And honestly, I'm fucking sick of it. Twitch used to be about the connection between the viewer and the content creator. Okay? It was about me sharing my thoughts and experience with you. And now it's become all about a transaction. It's become all about your money flowing into my pocket. Okay? And I'm fucking sick of it, to be quite honest. We need to get back to the way things used to be. Okay? Oh, sorry. I just gotta... Finally, someone's speaking up.
Tip of the
Someone
iceberg
had to
here,
say it.
because
Someone
we've
had to
since
say it.
learned these professional leagues are useless at catching this stuff. Turns out the NBA already investigated Terry Rozier before the FBI indictment for that exact game, and they cleared him because the NBA commissioner said there was insufficient evidence.
Really? Well, they haven't fucking done anything about Kawhi yet. I guess there's insufficient evidence for that. You fucking soulless fuck! Thank God Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are so good, or I would hate the NBA right now. But unfortunately, I can't help myself. I can't help myself from watching my team because I love watching my team. But it's fucking stupid. Kawhi, obviously. The Clippers obviously cheated the salary cap. It's obvious. And they're still investigating. They need to find more evidence. It's crazy. You are from Phoenix? I'm from fucking 13 states, brother. I live here now. That's why I got a fucking house.
Ultimately concluded that there was insufficient evidence despite that aberrational behavior to move forward.
Right. So even with aberrational activity, they had the right game, the right guy, and the NBA couldn't find enough evidence. I mean, the more money that goes into sports betting, the more this will be a problem, and the leagues are clearly not equipped to handle it. But people just look the other way because the money's too good. And I want to now address the size of these betting markets because they're absolutely enormous in ways most people don't understand. And to get our heads around it, we're going to look at some survey numbers. One study estimates that 22% of all Americans and almost half of men my age have an online sports betting account. Another estimates that 1 in 4 people have placed a bet on sports and 1 in 5 have placed a bet in the last year. Like with all surveys, there's margins of error here, but the data mostly agrees. Sports betting is very widespread and extremely popular among young men. And for the ones who get addicted, it's financially devastating. One recent study looked at Americans' finances before and after sports betting was legalized by their state. They found that bankruptcy rates rise approximately 10% after
Jesus
legalization.
Christ!
Another paper looked at financial stability, noting
we have 10% higher bankruptcies in states that legalize sports betting. That's crazy. That's such a bigger increase than I thought. Wow, that's wild. I actually did not know that stat. I do know the stat that the number of young people showing up to Gamblers Anonymous has never been this high. And if you flash back 5 years, it wasn't even on the radar. Almost nobody under 45 ever showed up to a Gamblers Anonymous 5 years ago. It was all like older people who sports bet, like in Vegas and sportsbooks. It was no young people. Now it's like primarily young people.
that for households that do bet, they spend on average about $720 a year sports betting. And the study found that for every dollar someone deposits for betting, there's a reduction in net investments of just under $1. As people gamble more, they invest less, which means their financial future is worse. Makes sense. But this is especially true of problem gamblers.
Gambling is
or
investing.
Gambling addicts. To be clear, this is not something that affects all gamblers. Roughly 1% of the world population suffers from this. It's more common among people who bet regularly and bet online. two of the things that sports gambling encourages. Problem gambling.
Bro, if you have that gene, because I do think it probably is genetic to be a true gambling whale. If you have that, you're in a hellscape. The world has become a constant series of traps to part you with everything you've got. Even if you don't play, like whether you play a video game, bro. Anything that you play is like constantly trying to turn you into a fucking whale and take it all. It's ridiculous. I think I have a somewhat addictive personality. I think I do. I don't play games like WoW for that reason. I don't think but I never had a gambling problem, but I think and I already have to avoid certain things because I just don't want to get addicted with my time and money. But I can only imagine, dude, if it was worse. Everything would be trying to get me.
Completely obliterates people's finances and affects more than just the gambler because as they beg, borrow, or
What things do you avoid? I mean, like I've never gambled outside of Vegas. I'm sorry. I do gamble with like friends. We play poker game or whatever, but I don't gamble like on my phone. And then I avoid WoW because I played WoW for a summer in 2007 or 6. And I literally blinked and my whole summer was gone. And then we moved, and thank God we moved because it broke me out of the funk, and I just had a chance to start. 6-7, by the way. That was a subtle reference for the real ones. Yeah, I just blinked. I just installed WoW. I was like, let me try this and play with my friends. And I blinked, and the entire summer was gone. I think I played it all day, every day for a whole summer. And I was like, wow, that was crazy. And so I've avoided it ever since. I remember even Minecraft. Nobody here is old head enough to remember this, I don't think, because this really is before I even streamed. But in the very earliest days of, me, Lud, some of the Yard Boys hanging out, we had a Minecraft server, and I had never even played before that, and I got so addicted. Like they would log off and log back on, and I had been on all night building shit. I learned redstone. I built like this whole fucking redstone. Yeah, I built the pick. Yeah, I made a video on this. I built an underground giant scale model of the diamond pickaxe that Ludwig had tricked me into throwing into the lava. It was crazy. I got addicted. I just grind something when I get focused on it. So I got to be careful. But if it was like that for slots or something, I would lose so much money.
Steal to continue their addiction, they affect everyone around them. And I do mean steal. Roughly half of gambling addicts will commit a crime, and most of those crimes are to continue gambling, often leading to a spiral where the addict doesn't see a way out, which is why...
Is it a crime to like steal from your friends and family around you in order to gamble? No, right? Because you'll probably win it back and then you both win. Listen, if I have $0 and you have $100 and I steal that, double it, and give it back to you, now we both have $100. I've created free money. Do you understand? How's that a crime? It's victimless. Do you get? This doesn't make any sense. Speaking of that, not to jump into any drama, but I've heard that the very famous North American Counter-Strike player Stewie 2K is at least accused of being a bit of a gambling addict and like borrowing CSGO knives in order to trade and sell and gamble. Pretty fucking insane, bro. Because that guy's was very well paid and very famous. I'm very surprised that he must be an addict. That's such an insane route to take. He stole XQC's uber rare AK-47, and the worst part about gambling crimes is they happen to the nicest people. Fuck, dude. God damn it. XQC's rare AK. Fuck. He's never going to fucking recover. How do you steal a skin? I assume it. I think he has to borrow it, to play in a tournament or something, and then didn't return it and used it to gamble or sell.
Problem gambling has one of the highest suicide rates of any substance addictions. Full stop.
I don't get it. You know none of this matters, right?
Yeah. Not to a clanker, I guess.
You tried this before with Roulette, CS2, and it did nothing.
Yep.
No, literally, I mean nothing. Absolute silence. All the moralizing, the anti-gambling. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Is that the end? What?
Let me tell you a story. A year ago, I was offered $20,000 to do a video by casino. Now, I said no and made a whole series about it, but what I didn't tell you is that later I was offered $1 million to cover my legal fees in an ongoing case. Now, this was offered by a person who said they wanted to remain anonymous, no strings attached, very nice person. They said they wanted to just help out. Sounds great. But then I found out the money was coming from a sports betting company. They were one of the top people, and that's obviously a dilemma for me. I am publicly against gambling, and here this person's kind of privately telling me, well, gambling can pretty much solve all my problems. Pay my legal fees, they're telling me, oh, their company's regulated, it's fine, it's above board. Ultimately, I had to say no. Thank you for the offer, but, in my head, there's no such thing as $1 million, no strings.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Obviously, I also can't take $1 million from a sports betting company and then go make a video.
I mean, I felt bad when he turned down my $1 million. I felt bad. I was like, I was just trying to offer it to a friend. It did have a couple strings because I wanted him to, shill some Atrioc coin or, small projects. But like, it wasn't, I was a little, I felt a little put down when he didn't take it. But it's fine. I understand. I get it.
Criticizing sports betting. But it gave me pause and kind of gave me an aha moment that I was missing before, where I started to understand exactly how screwed we are. And this goes into our third reason gambling is winning. The casual way these casinos can throw around life-changing money for any normal person is why the data will never fix this. It's why having enough sad facts about addicts or interviewing people whose lives were ruined will not change things. Believe me, I've done it and it's never moved the needle. To be honest, it's not even debatable that gambling is kind of bad for most people and life-destroying for a few. Even the industry kind of admits that. But the reason gambling is everywhere in spite of that is there is too much money in the game benefiting the people that make the final decisions, right? Think about the states with tax revenue, the casino profits, the influencer payouts. There's a small group that gambling is incredible for. So incredible, it basically defies logic. I'm talking billions of dollars in profits. And if you want to understand why gambling is everywhere, you can't just look at the statistics. You have to look at the money. And I want to show you exactly how this works with an example. This is Matthew. He's better known online as Nate Shot. And recently he took a gambling deal with an offshore crypto casino. And when he first talks about the deal, I want you to notice it's a little strange. He almost seems hesitant.
Boys, we just partnered with Roulette. And before I say anything, don't gamble, okay? You will lose. I promise you, you're gonna lose. But that's why I partnered with Roulette, so they can pay me to gamble. So even when I lose, I'm still gonna lose.
Yeah, it's pretty weird to hear someone say, don't gamble, guys, while announcing a partnership with a gambling company. Nate Shot implies that he may lose money, but in fact, he later admits that it's the most money he's ever been paid.
This is the biggest partnership that I've had in my entire career.
No, instead, I think the hesitancy, the weirdness of this video is because Nate Shot knows pushing gambling is kind of bad for people. He said so in a podcast a couple years ago.
I definitely think that people streaming on Twitch, all the crypto betting, certainly incentivizes younger kids to be more interested in crypto gambling. Like, I know personally people that should not have been gambling online, but because it's so easy to gamble with crypto, they did it when they could not afford to do it. and it has not worked out well for them.
Right. Nate Shot knows personally it's bad. But for the reason why he's doing it anyways, just fast forward 2 minutes in the podcast and we find out because the host asks, a hypothetical. What if someone offered Nate Shot $100 million to promote gambling? And well, let's just say his tone changed.
I ain't turning down $100 million, bro. You got me fucked up, brother. I'll go on there and I will crypto gamble 24/7, dude. At that point, man, it's the parents' fault. Hey, I'm just working over here.
I can't. I respect the honesty, at least. I respect the honesty. It would be much worse if that quote from years ago was like, "Nah, I'd never do it. Not me. Not ever." I'm still very, very much against promoting crypto gambling, but at the very least, he was honest.
You're gonna pay me more than LeBron, brother? I would be lighting up, cash on fire, gambling crypto. I would sell my soul for 100 M's. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
We should clip this. We should send this over.
I won't sleep. I will be your workhorse. You want me to pump blue chews and crypto gambling? I will do it all. You got me fucked up. Them kids, dude. Fuck them kids.
Look, I'm just going to say, you
funny.
can say he's wrong for saying that. He's a bad person for saying that. But the reality is, this is why gambling is winning. The casinos have so much money, they are buying people's souls. Even people who kind of admit gambling's kind of bad. Put enough money on the table, and Nate Shot says, hey, fuck them kids. And by the way, speaking of fucking them kids, let's talk about Drake.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, okay.
It isn't just streamers or influencers taking deals.
Plus two.
It's the biggest rapper on the planet. He signed a reported $100 million deal recently with Stake, the crypto casino.
Bro, Drake got the same deal as XQC? Yikes, bro. You can do bigger than that?
Which is wild. There's really no endorsement deals like that anywhere else that hit those kind of numbers. And just like Nate Shot, Drake wants you to know that, even though he's taking the money, gambling isn't for everyone. Recently, he posted an $8 million loss, saying, gotta share the other side of gambling. Now, maybe some of you think that.
I'm sorry. Gotta share the other side of gambling. Losses are so fried right now. I hope I can post a big win for you all soon, because I'm the only one that's never seen a max. These guys max once a week. This is still like a fucking promotion for gambling. Also, like, who the fuck is the fan watching this and be like, I hope he posts a big win for me? God, I hope Drake posts a big win for me. If Drake wins $8 million on a bet, I'll feel great all week. What the fuck is going on?
Gotta share the other side of gambling. Now, maybe some of you think that's brave, but to me, I see that and go, Drake, that is the only side of gambling for most people. If any normal person lost $8 million, their life is over and their legs are broken. You're the only one with another side to this whole thing. Where, to be clear, that other side is reportedly getting paid $100 million. And to be clear, like, it's a lot of people taking these deals. I'm not trying to single anyone out. Let's also take Kevin Hart, right? One of the world's smallest comedians. He pushes DraftKings. And this one I find really bizarre.
Do me a favor, man. Go to the DraftKings app. Look at what I'm betting on. Look at why I'm betting on. Place your bets. All the action is here. DraftKings, Kevin Hart.
I'm not even going to ask why Kevin needs you to get on DraftKings and bet. Like, the fact is he's worth a reported $450 million. But the real thing I find so gross about this is that Kevin Hart has gone on podcasts and talked about the need for financial literacy. He talked about this on Joe Rogan.
The biggest problem within our community is knowledge. We don't know. Debt is welcomed because it's celebrated. That's all we know. The knowledge isn't given. So it's not till you obtain that knowledge and understanding that you go, oh, oh, this is why you put money up. This is how you increase versus decrease. Oh, this is how you earn on your money. Oh, wow. I can gain wealth by investing in what? The stock world is what? How many people partake in the stock world? And is there a part that isn't necessarily gambling? Is there a low risk part? The information isn't there.
Yeah, Kev, maybe the information isn't there on the stock market part, which isn't gambling, because you're too busy telling them about actual gambling. Understand that Kevin Hart is not just a guy who sometimes talks about it on podcasts either. He has a whole partnership, an actual partnership with Chase Bank, where they ran a campaign to improve financial literacy. But then Kevin goes on the side and he's pushing DraftKings, which preys on people's financial illiteracy. And while we're talking about small comedians with big bank accounts, let's talk about Joe Rogan too. And listen, I'm not trying to be high and mighty with all this stuff. I know it sounds a bit like that, but believe me, I am eye level with these guys, okay? I'm very short too. You can't tell behind the $10 million studio desk, but no offense is intended here. We got to discuss though, how the biggest comedians in the world, biggest, smallest comedians, are pushing DraftKings. Didn't Joe get a $250 million deal from Spotify?
He did?
I didn't realize before this video, like, how many gambling ads he has been running recently. In the month of September alone, there were 11 DraftKings ads in 14 videos. And with Joe especially, it's weird because he's the guy who rants against big pharma's.
Just to be clear, one of the first things Vox asked for Lemonade Stand was, will we do gambling? Because they're the biggest deals. And we said no. We said we'll only do drugs. Drug ads, predatory loan ads. We will not do gambling. We have our fucking standards. We're going to get these people hooked on pills. We are not, they need the finances for, you know, it's the old fashioned way. It's the old fashioned way, bro. You gotta start somewhere. No, it is fucked up. I mean, the real reason is, this is why creators do it, is the downside is not there. People talk shit, but it doesn't change your viewership or anything. It doesn't, nobody, you know, people go, oh, I'm disappointed. Well, they don't leave. I don't know what it is. It's you know, Joe Rogan doesn't have any fewer viewers for it. Kevin Hart doesn't stop selling out shows. It's not, people's actions don't match their words.
Manipulative advertising.
If you can advertise, you can manipulate people and change their opinion based on theatrics.
So many. Everyone gets a free bet. We all want to win. Hey, let's win together.
You know what to do. You have music and people dancing and holding hands and spinning around in a wheat field. Like, that is so manipulative. And we are subject to manipulation. And when it's something that is so important, like making critical health decisions, there's so many of these commercials. Like, so many times I'm watching television, I'm like, how many goddamn drug commercials are there?
By the way, I agree with them. We are being manipulated. But change a few words from that rant, and you could say the exact same thing about how gambling is pushed. Casinos are also manipulative. They don't advertise the actual reality where people lose. Instead, they say things like winning, cashing in, opportunity. And Joe Rogan's a part of that.
Every game is another chance to cash in. Don't just watch the action, win with it. Every snap is loaded with opportunity.
That is just as manipulative as pharma ads pushing pills that may end up addicting you. In both cases, the collateral damage are the addicts we created along the way. And I guess I have to ask, maybe people think, oh, one's worse than the other. Is there that much of a difference between a drug addict and a gambling addict? No, really, I'm asking.
It's like, if you see the drug addict, you see him, he's shooting up or whatever it is, and you see him fainting, you go, oh, that poor bastard. But when you see a guy who's fully in the grips of gambling, trying to figure out how to get his money back, and he's all jazzed up with adrenaline, he doesn't understand why.
It's just like cocaine, it's just like drug abuse, it's just like the opiate problem, it's just like anything else. It could you and I both know people who have lost their lives gambling. Okay, you've seen people in pool halls. You see how they get, Joe Rogan. Man. There's no difference in the drug addict and the gambling addict. Not at all. No difference.
That's crazy.
So there is no difference.
That's
then why do we
crazy.
shake our head at the Sackler family and pharmaceutical execs who push pills that ruin people's lives, but somehow nobody cares we're doing a very similar thing with gambling? At every level of society, we are shoving this down people's throats. And it's not that I mind if people gamble individually, but we are pushing it on people who otherwise would not have done it, because everything is gambling now, from sports to entertainment to investing. It is totally inescapable, and we're moving the casino from Vegas directly into people's pockets, connecting to their bank accounts. I don't know exactly how this is going to end, but it doesn't take a genius to see where it's going to lead. Gambling is going to be a much larger problem for people, and especially young men.
Yeah.
And the saddest part is there's no amount of data or facts that I can...
Yeah, I think I tried to say this on the fucking... I tried to say this, bro, because I do agree so hard. You know, I usually joke on the stream, but I really do feel... I have people in my family, too. Where did I say this? How video games are the problems with young men. I'll tell you, the biggest two things that are destroying young men's ability to get financially on their feet is crypto and gambling, sports gambling particularly. These two things are a viral cancer that are just ripping these people's ability to get a financial leg up apart. Young men are attacked with ads nonstop on offering, because again, if you are financially stuck, if you don't see a path to with your normal wages getting a house, then you have to take that 100x bet. You have to take that odd. You have to take that crazy bet. And whether that's punting all your money on a weird meme coin and praying, or it's putting it on a 7-leg parlay on DraftKings, that is why they're doing this. And that is just stealing their money every day. And it's making Gavin Newsom the whole time thinking, how do I talk more about Hitman? Gavin Newsom nodding while thinking, all right, great. But what is Discord though? How do you use Discord to stream on the Twitches? Making them more frustrated and depressed. Again, I find those two things, I speak about them all the time. Those two things and buy now, pay later. These buy now, pay later companies are, dude, put on some fucking socks, you degenerate. Nobody's gonna believe you about gambling if you can't wear some fucking socks, hippie.
give you that's going to stop that. There's just too much money at stake.
Hey, come back to the bar and let me fix you a drink. The weather isn't changing anytime soon.
You know, all it would take is basic advertising rules or legislative change to put a stop to half of this stuff.
That's the thing. Money makes the world move, Coffee. And the people who write the rules like them just the way they are.
Do you really think it's worth all of this, though? Like, just for a little more money?
Hey, you said it yourself, didn't you? It's not just a little money. It's
a lot.
A lot more money. If people would sell their soul for $100 million, well, imagine what they do for billions.
You know, maybe it is time for that drink.
The acting is...
You're gonna tip this time, right?
Listen, obviously excellent video. Truly great video. Coffeezilla has been on a tear this year. And I especially love his long form produced stuff. It's really good. Yeah, I agree fully. It sucks. It sucks. I mean, I think, you know, he's a little more depressed about his ability to enact change than maybe I am. I feel like, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but there's got to be some people in here who have avoided buy now, pay later, or crypto gambling or gambling just from being exposed to how silly and stupid it is. I don't imagine that I'm fucking changing the fucking world, but I assume a couple people, and I assume that's the same for him. I assume he and his content, even far more than me, have convinced people that these crypto grifters aren't who they say they are, that, you know, the risks are much higher than they seem. It's just at the size of it. You know what I'm saying? Coffeezilla's channel's big. Here, my channel's okay. I convince a few people. His is bigger, convinces more people. Kevin Hart is 1,000 times bigger than both of us. Kevin Hart and Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan, they're just way bigger. I mean, it's he's acting like it doesn't have any effect. It has an effect. It's just, you got to get more people. You gotta But also, I'm sort of a believer. There was a piece that James Ganesh wrote in the opinion part of the FT. I've talked about it on stream before. This was a while back, but it's resonated with me ever since, which is that, especially in a democracy, we usually need a crisis to make real change. Things kind of just go along until something bad happens. And so it's not that we can't regulate this stuff. It's that we have to have a crisis. There has to be like, you might say, and I might say that there's a crisis among young men right now, but once they see it and feel it, I guess I'll give a similar example is like, Juul was unregulated. It was everywhere. And then so many kids started to get health problems that moms around the country just started screaming until glass broke. And then democracy in that situation moved really fucking fast. They regulated the shit out of Juul super quickly. It's like, it's not that things can't move quickly. It's that people have to be aligned on something, and they don't get aligned until there's a crisis. So I don't know. It's like, my general worldview is that all this stuff does get fixed. As all thing, it cycles. It gets fixed, and then a new way comes out, and it gets worse. But things generally get better. But it's like a sine wave where things get bad, and that sucks. And that fucking sucks. It's not cool. And it feels like there's so many sine waves that are bad right now. The wavelength has been trending up over history, though. I agree. I fully agree. Again, for all the complaining we do, 100 years ago, a lot worse, bro. And 100 years before that, infinitely worse. Infinitely worse. And 100 years before that, impossible to even fathom. It's like the sine wave is obviously trending up for the vast majority of all people. But it sucks to be in these down curves where you learn the lessons to go. It's not. 1600s were peak. How to argue against the crowd that says, well, it's a lot better than 100 years ago? I just said that myself. Why would I argue against someone saying that? I just said that. That's what I just said. I'm not going to give you the talking points against that. That's what I just said. It was. It's fundamentally true. Grok, give me an argument to destroy Atrioc? Only if it's from an anime woman. But what about 50 years, 20 years, 10 years? Is there an inflection point? Well, that's what I'm, I hope I'm drawing this correctly. The idea is that, it's an upward to the right sine curve, which means it's like this. I'm not really drawing it well, but you know what I'm saying? So, if we're like here, hypothetically, you would say, well, yeah, 10 years ago, things were more stable. They were better. There was you know what I'm saying? But overall, like this level is obviously higher than, 100 years ago, or even the peak 100 years ago. Do you understand? That this is not lining up to an exact date or anything. I'm just saying like this is the idea of an up and to the right sine curve. This is how you could be both optimistic and pessimistic. You can be both like, wow, it seems like we're headed to a real trench, and then still think, yeah, but we're trending in the right direction. Do you understand? Like that. This would be probably World War II, by the way. If I had to fucking but that's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea. So we're winding up for War 3. I don't know about all that, but I do know we started testing nukes today. Trump, as part of the China negotiations, demanded we do a public test of nukes so that everybody knows how strong we are, how big our dick is. There's a new Eddie Burback. Is it good? I mean, I wanted to like, I really wanted to. There's a new Almost Friday. There's a new Eddie Burback one looks kind of long. Oh, there's a new Casually Explained. Gen Z versus Millennials? Oh, we got to watch this.
This video is sponsored.
Wait, Gen Z versus Millennials, the age-old war. Holy. Cracks knuckles. Millennial pause. Harry Potter. I'm ready. This is my World War III, dude. This is what I'm going to fight and die on. And there's one. Can we get a truce? If you're a Gen Z, handshake before the fight. If, Gen Z or Millennials, I hand with you. But if you're a motherfucking cusper, can we both collectively tell them to shut the fuck up? God damn. I don't want to hear from how I don't really know. It's like I don't resonate so much with like the Gen Z slang and attitude, but I don't really feel like a millennial. I don't really know what I am. God, I just it's like I don't care. It's all you talk about. Bro, somebody born in 1998 and then talking about this, they'll just never shut up. They'll talk about it for 100 years. Yeah, 97, 98, bro. Pick a side, dude. Pick a fucking side.
Sponsored by Incogni. When someone says they were born in the year 2002, I automatically think, damn, this is the oldest looking 6-year-old I've ever seen. Well, I won't be using that one when they ask me about the island. I was born in 1996, making me just barely a millennial, meaning I'm somewhat of an expert on my older cohort who thinks doggo, pupper, adulting, and having an actual wedding to a real person they love is still a thing. Well,
yeah, what's wrong with that? Fuck, dude. I feel like millennial shit. Yeah, people are talking about it like it's a fucking crime against humanity. Like it's a war crime. Bro, you know what? In this crazy fucked up world, what's wrong with a doggo and heckin' loving your wife? Honestly, it's all seeming pretty good now, huh?
Also being able to tell Gen Z that making fun of us for skinny jeans doesn't do anything. We inherited housing prices and 3 financial crises from the baby boomers. You will not even remotely psychologically affect us. You will not even remotely psychologically affect most of us.
Kanye?
The first thing we have to do is obviously define the generations, which in the textbook is 1981 to 1996 for millennials and 1997 to 2012 for Gen Z. Problem is it can be hard to tell when you're kinda in the middle, because to the outside observer, Gen Z might look a lot older than they are on account of all the Botox and filler, whereas millennials look a lot younger than they are on account of all the Botox and filler. Meaning you have to look at behavioral cues to tell the difference. Because us millennials are trying so hard to cling on to our youth, we're in fact only differentiable from Gen Z by 3 things: ankle socks, hairline, and when a DJ says,
ouch. Fucking ouch, bro. I've shown both my hairline and my ankle socks today. What the hell? What the ow? Bullseye? Jesus Christ, let me dodge a couple shots, dude. What the fuck? I'm getting fucking sniped. This is insane.
Put your hands up. We do it with an open palm, whereas Gen Z does it with a closed palm. Gen Z does this because you...
No fucking way you guys do that. There's no fucking way if someone says put your hands up, you do this. No one fucking does that. I've never heard that in my life. That can't be real. That can't be real. You have to literally, you open, put your hands up. They're playing my song. The butterflies fly away. Hips like, yeah. That's a fucking song, dude.
Automatically close your hand when you associate with dropping down to the floor, whereas millennials raise an open palm because we don't think Black Lives Matter. While it might sound like I'm here representing my fellow millennials, I did only squeak in there by 1 year, and there are some millennialisms that are too ancient even for me.
Okay.
Take, for example, answering the phone. Why? Similarly, Gen X still texts like they have an old school brick phone, meaning all of their messages are like, yo, bring drinks, see you at 5, sunglasses emoji. Which is at least chill and straight to the point.
Yeah.
Millennials, in contrast, have all evolved the two-thumb texting technique, meaning they're able to send you a single paragraph-long text like it's an email that you avoid opening at all costs until you really have to respond. Gen Z, on the other hand, sends multiple messages to indicate punctuation or a different thought, usually ending it with a skull emoji to tell you they've died and will no longer be texting you back. If you're a smug elder millennial who's like, why does my younger sibling send 4 messages back to back when they could have just typed it in one message? That shit is so annoying. First of all, if you're annoyed because you have your phone on vibrate when I'm texting you...
I honestly feel like this war is already long lost. Maybe this is something I could have thought 15 years ago. I think everybody splits them up now. Gen Z or no. I feel like this war is completely over. I don't know anyone outside of like the oldest of the old who like big one messages instead of splitting, but maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just Discord culture. Like I'm a millennial talking to other millennials and we all split it up now. I think Gen Z won that battle. If that's, you know, that's, I wouldn't say that's a hill worth dying on. I think splitting it up looks nicer. It just looks nicer. It looks more like your mind can break it up easier. I think when you see a big block of text, your eyes glaze over a bit. That's my honest opinion.
You can stick it up your ass. Second, if you've looked at literacy statistics recently, Gen Z doesn't know how to read, so they don't know how to punctuate in the first place. And lastly, multiple...
Okay, I want to say something I've been waiting to say, and I'm going to be real about it. I'm going to be honest. So obviously I've talked a lot about the rising amount of illiteracy, and I am a supporter. I'm raising money for and already volunteers at Reading Partners, because I do think it's an actual problem. As someone who really does enjoy to read, and I think I'm a generally very stupid person. And the fact that my mother instilled a love in reading of me and that I've become a reader my whole life is the only thing keeping me going. I think I would have so much less to talk about and understand if I didn't read all the time. And I think reading is really cool. But I've actually noticed, and I'm talking about specifically this year, people misspelling fucking everything all the time. So many people have been saying things where the only way you'd misspell it is if you'd never seen it in print. Like I'm thinking specifically of examples of like phrases like milk toast or like if you've never seen that written, you wouldn't understand that it's not literally the words milk space toast. Like it's not like a milky toast. But like I think a lot of people have been doing that for a lot of all intensive purposes. Like getting all these phrases wrong that you would never get wrong if you'd seen them written. Which means they're not reading at all. They're only hearing it in like a TikTok or something. I don't know. And it's like, listen, I've been streaming for a couple years now. I'm promising you, I noticed it more this year a lot. A lot of things just like completely spelled wrong. I don't know. I feel like people are, it's like a vibes-based language. It's like they are just not learning language from reading anymore. It is only from short form video content.
Messages is clearly the superior form of texting anyone except your boss because it allows you to better punctuate your rap battles with the homies. If you think about it, line breaks are literally poetry. When it comes to socializing and how you like to have a good time, millennials and Gen X are notorious alcoholics, but Gen X also does cocaine and millennials instead do weed. Gen X are alcoholics on cocaine because it was the rock and roll culture of the time, whereas millennials are alcoholics and smoke weed because they all have anxiety and need to self-medicate in order to socialize. Gen Z, on the other hand,
I don't think that's lined up with statistics. I will say every generation from oldest to youngest drinks less. Gen X drinks a lot. Millennials drink a lot less. Gen Z drinks almost none. So millennials alcoholics is pretty crazy because like the most dry generation ever outside of Gen Z. And then, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would say obviously it's generalizations, but millennials as alcoholics is pretty crazy. Gen Z's literally lying about drinking less. that's a crazy thing to say. This like 80-year running survey is because all Gen Z are secretly fucking. No, I'm sure some Gen Z are drinking. Of course, it's not like all, but literally the consumption of alcohol is down among young people. It's not like they're not selling as much alcohol. It's not some like crazy conspiracy where they're not buying as much, bro. In fact, dude, there was recently, it's actually really funny. If I still did wins and fails, I would have made this a win because it's not a big story, but the CEO of Heineken came out and basically pleaded to Gen Z to buy more beer and was saying, listen, I know a lot of you are lonely. You know what's a great social lubricant? Beer. He was like trying to explain how beer is so good for when you're anxious or... So like they're just Gen Z's not drinking as much. I don't know how to tell you this. Maybe they're doing more weed. That seems totally fine. People tell me that, but they're not drinking as much. The consumption is absolutely down.
Weed because they all have anxiety and need to self-medicate in order to socialize. Gen Z, on the other hand, was very gently parented, don't even pretend they'll ever own a home, and never socialize publicly, so they just take Tren, Zins, and Goon for dopamine. One thing that Gen Z clearly outdid the millennials on is their slang, because just like high school, millennials also blundered the language on more than one occasion, coining such terrible turns of phrase as doggo, adulting, epic win, on fleek, it's lit fam, swag, I can't even,
Every one of these is so based. Every one of these is just fire. I mean, absolutely. I fucking ride or die for all of these. These are all swag. I never said on fleek, but every other one of these I've said probably unironically in my life. Probably. I've never said on fleek. Like if I was scrolling far back enough on my Facebook, I definitely said like, holy shit, just got I don't know, a brand new episode of my favorite show, Epic Win or something. Definitely. 100%. I definitely commented on an early Instagram post saying that's so lit. Like 100%. 100%.
Did a thing, and calling any type of knowledge hacks. In contrast, Gen Z slang had a stranglehold on our broader vocabularies right away. For example, here's some Gen Z slang you hear all the time, which I will now translate in case it's not clocking to you. Let him cook. He's in the process of doing something well that isn't cooking, so don't interrupt him. She ate. She looked good or did something well that isn't eating. Riz. Charismatically flirting. Crash out. Mental breakdown.
I mean, let him cook is like, it's probably the best thing Gen Z's ever done. Honestly, Gen Z's a wash, dude, outside of the slang. Outside of the slang, it feels like not much left, but like that, they did go crazy with the slang. It was unreal. Shit slaps. Yeah, it does. It slaps. Even sheesh, bro, which is no longer dead, but that, I mean, let them cook. W, Riz. And by the way, it's not like it's like just a young person thing, because I think Gen Alpha slang is terrible. I think Gen Z was uniquely good at slang. I think Gen Z made a lot of great slang, bro.
Laps, it's really good. Fire, it's really good. Hits different, it's really good. Bussin', it's really good.
Build different,
Gas,
hits different.
It's really good.
Yep.
No cap, for real. On God, for real. True, for real. Facts, for real. Deadass, for real. For real, for real. For real. One thing that older millennials have a terrible
Type
take
shit,
on is
type
that Gen
shit,
Z
type
has
shit.
bad fashion. Gen Z has great fashion, especially compared to us millennials at the same age. Besides, when most millennials were teenagers, social media hadn't been invented yet, so instead of growing up trying to imitate the most liked Instagram trend, we had peace, contentment, and mixed and matched our clothing like a hand-me-down buffet exactly to our own taste. We didn't dress to impress, we dressed to express our deep cultural anxiety and fear of bothering our parents in case the baby boomers got mad at us, which they pretty much always were. You might not like it, but this was peak millennial fashion. To prove that Gen Z has better fashion than millennials, in today's social media, it's common for an influencer to be chatting up girls on the street like, yo, you're so pretty, can I get your number? And she's like, I'm 16. And the guy's like, oh my God, you can't be 16. What? I gotta get out of here, chat.
I'm not saying this has never happened. Why throw Speed under the bus like that? As far as I know, Speed is not chatting 16-year-old girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, why Speed, bro? There's so many people you could pick. Why Speed? He has done this? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Back in my day, you'd already know they were 16 because we were all ugly. Furthermore, Gen
That
Alpha
exact thing
now thinks that
happened?
point-and-shoot digital cameras give a cool vintage look, meaning guess what? Low-rise bedazzled jeans are getting thrifted, and American Apparel hoodies are right around the corner. We are
Bieber.
so back, baby.
Wait, look at that Bieber. Dude, it's so crazy. Look at that Bieber and see the Bieber on Twitch now. You can't see him, though.
Around the corner. We are so back, baby. At the end of the day, ask most millennials, and we sort of feel we grew up in the best era to be kids, but the worst era to be adults. Gen Z, on the other hand, just thinks, wait, things were actually good? As an example, when someone says make America great again, Gen Z thinks you can't make something great again if it was always trash. But baby boomers think, I remember when me and Steve worked for Chrysler and Detroit was the richest city in the whole world. I bought a house for me, my wife, and my 8 brothers and sisters back when we were 23. But millennials here make America great again and think, remember the first 150 Pokemon, the Sega Genesis, Rock Band?
I legitimately do, kind of. I legitimately do. Like, I kind of do, bro. Like, kind of low key was a good time. Was a good time. Type shit.
Growing up without a cell phone, when you made YouTube videos just for fun, getting free malware on LimeWire, using
Yup.
iPod Touch to pretend to drink beer.
Yup.
How people would say, too soon. After you made a 9/11 joke, remember how badly we fucked up our teenage years, but it didn't matter because we had no social media? Remember smog? As I was reading this, I got nostalgic and remembered some more things, so I redid the video so I could keep going. Remember Deltora Quest? Ordering things from the Scholastic Book Fair?
Yup.
The Bermuda Triangle?
Yup. I don't really miss that, though.
Remember burning a CD?
Yeah.
Remember CD drives in the first place?
Yeah.
Remember when DLC was just another game called an expansion pack? Remember rewinding a VHS before you returned it to Blockbuster?
Yeah!
I remember.
He's farming,
Anyway,
bro.
us millennials are going to go
He's
stare at
farming.
the Winamp visualizer for a while. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. Now, unlike me and most of the people I know who can't remember anything, nearly everything that you've done online is remembered forever somewhere, which is why you should consider today's sponsor, Incogni. As we both know, your online activity is not just stored forever between the two of us in our OnlyFans DMs, but also by data brokers, who resell your information online to whoever wants to get their grubby little hands.
Check out Incogni. Check out Incogni.
Where they ask to track your information in exchange for a cookie that they never seem to deliver. That data is often getting stored and resold to third parties who might want to scam, spam, or God forbid call you on the phone.
Is this whole thing Incogni?
Acts on your behalf to request that these large brokers request a removals plan. You're able to go or running a try. Use the code.
This the whole thing's in Incogni. Okay. That was fun. That was a funny video. That is a funny video. Being born in 1998 is pretty OP because my generation is whichever suits me better in my current argument. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly why I preempted it. That's why I preempted it, bro. Type shit, type shit, type shit, type shit. You were born in the 1900s? Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that, bro. Fucking 19er. Dude, it's funny because, I mean, it's still totally normal. It's not crazy to be born in the 1900s. Most people here in this chat, I think the majority of people still, maybe not the majority, maybe it's half, are born in 90s. However, going forward, you know, like in 2045 or something, being born in the 1900s is going to sound so crazy. Like in 2045, it's going to be like, oh, you were born in the 1900s? It's going to sound so fucking wild. It's going to sound cooked, bro. Poll? All right, I'll do a poll. Poll. Which decade? Boom. Poll. Vote, 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 vote. It's 50-50, bro. As expected. It's 50-50, I told you. Damn, I called it directly. That's not fair. Gen Z doesn't vote. I forgot. Gen Z's sitting in here but doesn't vote. That's true, dude. That's fucking true. Solid majority. Damn, we got some on cat. Nah, it's probably 50-50. But 51%, 90s. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. We got a lot of 90s people here, but then once the years roll on, it's gonna sound crazy. Imagine, you know, it's like 1950, and this guy's like, yeah, I was born in the 1800s. It's gonna sound crazy. You're born in the 1800s. It's just gonna sound weird, bro. It's gonna sound. I was in elementary school during Trump's first run. That's insane, dude. I mean, if you're young enough, I mean, no, literally, if you are, how old would you have to be? It's been 9 years, you know, so if you're like, if you're under, let's say 22, if you're like 23 or younger, your entire life, like adult, not even adult, like, you know, when you're old enough to think about any of this type of stuff, from like, let's say 12 years old on, it's been Trump. Your entire cognitive conscious life of like the outside world, Trump has been the completely, that's pretty crazy. You could literally be 23 and like all you've ever known is Trump. You had Obama? Yeah, but when you were really young, really, right? Because 2016 is Trump. And from then on, it's Trump, Biden, Trump, but that election is still Trump, and then Trump Harris. So you can remember a little brief bit of Obama, but that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. And then of course he's gonna have his excellent third term. So you could go from 12 to 26, and it's all Trump. That's a dynasty. That's a fucking dynasty. You gotta respect that. Guys, that's the end of my stream. I'm gonna end at 10. I streamed 3 times today. I will do this poll tomorrow. This will be a good video clip. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And always love talking to you. And if you didn't get to watch it today, I will say we did a official IOI Hitman contest this morning. And I did surprisingly well. I was pretty proud of myself. It was a really fun event. We did it really early in the morning, but if you do want to catch the VOD, it was, that shit was gas. All right, thanks for watching. I'm going to go chill, maybe watch game 1 of T1 and go to bed. Good night, good luck. See you tomorrow.